Hey, what's up? We in the building. It's a little rainy going. It's rainy. It's rainy season right now. So if my Wi-Fi, if I'll wait till a couple people get in the building. Lisa Carroll, Daiwan Davis, Yoselin Escobar. Come on in. Come on in. If my Wi-Fi goes out, it's raining. So it could go out any moment, but we'll try to get everything in. I'll try to express myself on my thoughts on why Central America and not Africa. So y'all hold tight there. It's coming down. It's coming down. Yeah, it's raining. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this because sometime when it rains like this, power goes out. It might go out for 10-15 minutes or something. So if I just cut off, at least you know what happened. All right. So basically, I'm not speaking about people who are already in Africa, that they live in Africa, they happy in Africa. And what I'm speaking about, I'm speaking to the people, to the reflections, those that are in the States. When it comes down to leaving Babylon from the States, what is more conducive? Is going to Africa conducive, or is going to Central America conducive? Despite of whatever happened in Costa Rica. Right? So, here we go. Africa, I know everybody's like, yeah, we should go back to Africa, but before we even go, we talk about that, let's talk about before that. Hold on. Before that, you got to understand that all the continents was together at one time. Prior to the continental drift. Oh, I got a beat. Be trying to get out the rain too. And so before the continental drift, right, all the continents was together. There is no Africa. Africa is a Arabic word that came from the word Afrikia, which means to divide. Right? So what we have going on in Africa today, one of the richest countries when it comes down to natural resources. And so, if you notice, all the countries where there's melanated beings, right, with all the natural resources, are poor countries. Africa, number one, has all the natural resources. However, what happened was, in 1884, 1885, there's something that's called the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference is when all the European countries came together and they divided Africa up amongst themselves, to the betterment of Europe. This did not help. This did not help Africa at all. They divided Africa up amongst themselves. So right now, Africa thinks that they really free, or they really think that they're independent. You're not independent. I'm sorry. I mean, it's really not independent. What happened is, they give the government loans, right? So once you get the loan by the IMF or the WTO, the WTO is the World Trade Organization, right? And you have the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund Organization, which is ran by the biggest key partner is the United States. So what they do is they loan these countries, right? You with me? Hey, am I still here? Can you hear me? Did I freeze up? Y'all can hear me? Well, what they do is they give the African countries loans, knowing millions of dollars of loans, billions of dollars of loans, knowing that they won't be able to pay these loans back. Right? That's the whole point of giving them the loan. They know you ain't gonna pay it back. They know you have corrupt officials that's gonna pocket this money. So they give it to you because they print up the money anyways. They the ones who are in charge of printing up the money. They'll give them all the loans knowing they won't be able to pay the loan back. So once they can't pay the loan back, then let's say if your country like Guyana, right, who has oil, so when they discover oil, and then you have the IMF and the WTO, they take control of those resources because you couldn't pay off the debt. So it ain't like you're running away from Babylon. You're running right back into Babylon in certain parts in Africa. You follow? Right? So now, when they didn't even control, when you gotta buy rice from the United States in Africa, then and a pound of rice costs more than gold, then you like, hold on. So you really gotta do your due diligence and research before you make a move. You really do research on the government, the economy. You do the whole nine. If I was to say, yeah, I want to go to Africa and visit and to see, my next move, it's cool. But you have people already that they have to pay $3,000-4,000 just for a one way. You know what I'm saying? And so you have people trying to get to Central America and can't even come up with their $300 round trip. So that's a joke, right? So no, it's joking, but it's true, right? And so people say, yeah, let's do it in Africa. Africa has a lot of turmoil. You have these countries that all fight, and you have all the European countries. They fighting against each other for control of these natural resources. So when war breaks out, right? When you have some of these countries that say, "Hey, we don't want we don't want your loan. We want to do our own." You're gonna end up like Gaddafi. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be called a terrorist when you don't want to go by the rules, right? After the WTO or the IMF lent you that money, and then you were like, yo, we can't pay this back, but we don't want to do we don't want to give you our oil resources because we don't have enough money to develop it, right? Because you do have corrupt officials or whatever, and then you become a terrorist, and then that country's leader becomes a terrorist, right? And since they control the media, then the world will look at you as a terrorist or whatever group they have going on out there. They'll create one, right? So you have a lot of these countries. If you have a puppet. A puppet government, you have melanated beings up there, but they still a puppet. You follow? And so, right, since they run the country, you have to find out who the country's in debt to. When you find out who the country in debt to, and then you know who runs the country. And so when you go over there, you find out that rice costs more than $5 for a pound of rice, then you're like, oh shit, and you get it from the United States. You're like, yo, what the fuck? And you got all these natural resources there. I'm not talking about the people living in Babylon in Africa, because there is a Guyana, they got a Babylon there too, and these other, yes, you do have it. But if you are in nature, and that's your goal, is to return in nature, let us see it, put it up, show us, so we can see. And because there's a lot of people that's thinking about going to Africa, and so show us what I'm not speaking because I made broad trips to Africa. No, I'm not speaking from that perspective. So as far as speaking, because I went throughout Africa, no, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not speaking from that aspect, from that point of view. However, if you are there and you are in nature, and show it to us, let us see, so we can see another option. So I tell all of those, let us see. I mean, that's there. That's saying, hey, I love this place, and so help us out. You have a lot of people